Hi everyone, thank you for watching this video. This is Sheva from Mix Journals over at Instagram. Today I have my second soft cover journal that I made for 2023. This one is a design team project for the Paper Cameo, and it's inspired by the new kit that Nicola has called Something Blue. There's Something Blue 1 and then Something Blue 2 kits. I will link them in the description down below if you're interested in checking them out. It's the only digital kit that I used for this journal, and it's a soft cover one. I've been saving this fabric for a while because I didn't know which kits I wanted to use with it. So I'm very glad that I waited, because the Something Blue kit is just perfect for it. And this journal I finished quite fast. It's probably because the kit has everything that I needed to complete this one. So this is the closure. If you follow me along Instagram, the link is also in the description below. I've been playing a lot with molds lately, and I used two for this closure. So this heart ephemera is from the kit, and then I just backed it in an old book page. I added this vintage lace as a ribbon on top, added this ticket as sort of a tab, and then used these two molds. The molds, I think, if you've seen my Instagram reel on this, I have a reel on how I make this. It's made from glue, and then I just use the glue as resin to do the molds, and then I paint them with gesso, and then with acrylic paint, and then I just add some wax to make it look a bit more vintage. Then I punched these holes, and then just added this string. So that's the closure for the journal. I'll put it here on the side, and this is the front page. Let me just remove this so you can see the whole page. So as you can see, the fabric covers the whole page, and then layered on top of that is this vintage lace. This is vintage lace that I turned into a pocket. Just love the floral details, and then the scallops over here at the bottom. This is also vintage lace. This, I think, is not vintage ruffle. That's modern. Then I added these florets. This is also vintage lace. Is it vintage, or was it part of a sari trim? I don't quite recall. This is definitely modern floral applique, and together with this one that I just hand sewn into the page, then added more florets here, and then this embroidered lace is also lace trim, is also modern. Then I just tucked. This is from Floral Affairs. I just tucked these ephemera to go here. So that's the front. The back is pretty plain, so I just kept it plain because the fabric itself is very beautiful. As I said, it's one signature. When you open it up, the front page, I told you I went to town with those molds, so you'll see them all over this journal as well. So this is the front. Here on the side, let me remove these two. So this is also part of the Something Blue kit. This one is not from Something Blue. I think it's from a Christmas journal, but also from the Paper Cameo. I just added that and turn it into a tuck spot. This is a die from Tim Holtz. I used that to create that die, but the paper is from the Paper Cameo as well. Then tucked inside that are these vintage tickets. Also tucked there is this vintage stamp book spread, which the new owner can use in the journal. So that's stuck there. And then this envelope is also from the Something Blue kit. I just love the butterflies here because they mirrored the butterflies in the cover page. And this is the next page. This and this, they're both from Something Blue. Then I think this is from Boho Tree. This beautiful sari. Then tucked inside is just this file folder. I used the, again, Tim Holtz die for this one. I think I made this ephemera as a part of a Christmas project that I didn't finish. So I'm just using them as ephemera for my different journals. So that's the front. Next page. This is also from, I think I used Something Blue 1 and 2, and as well as Faded Blue. So those two kits you can find in Nicola's shop. Then this is an envelope. Just have this hanging heart tucked inside. This and this is from I want to say Floral Affairs ephemera kit. And then these two, you can find it in every kit that Nicola makes. That they're part of the envelope page. Vintage tag, vintage ephemera as well, vintage label, this, and then these are a bunch of vintage ephemera, all blue. This is also vintage authentic ephemera that I turned into a tuck spot, then just added just a few sequins there. Then this is a vintage book page map. Then you just have a tuck spot here. This is not vintage, but it's a wallpaper. This is vintage. It's not 1910 or 1970, probably 1970. It's from 1980. Then a book page. Floral cutouts. Again, digital kit from Nicola. Another piece of sari trim from Boho Tree. Tuck spot. This tuck spot is actually part of Something Blue. And then this is vintage label. Another vintage label. This is a washi tape from, I want to say Maggie Holmes. I forget what collection. Vintage label from Something Blue. Isn't that beautiful? I just found a lot of blue vintage labels, vintage stamps in my kit, in my, stash. And I just used them throughout the journal. And then I also used vintage fabric as tabs. Lots of tabs here. Another page, one of those butterfly pages from Something Blue. A vintage music note paper. This is not vintage, but I think the blue fits well. More vintage ephemera. So there's lots of vintage ephemera in it as well that you can, you know, use throughout the journal or use somewhere else. Vintage milk cap, book page. It's another vintage ephemera there. That's blue. Another envelope. Tuck spot. Fabric, vintage fabric with some rose details. Edith Holden page, just embellished with this tiny tag. I think this is a vintage planner book that I just got from a French haul that I did a while back. Not sure where it's from. It's probably either from Postal Love or from Crafty Paper Bits. This is vintage lace. Some vintage ephemera. And then I just use this little, so this is part of a you know, those cabinet albums. Then I just stocked blue tickets, blue vintage tickets in there. These are ephemera from the Something Blue kit with vintage lace, an embellished tag. This is vintage wallpaper, which I have been hoarding, but I used like a big big piece of paper for this journal because it just went with the theme. Vintage, look at that, vintage label. This is an envelope which, you know, can be a spot for secret stash, secret journaling. There. Vintage book page. Again, it says February. I just chose a February page from the Edith Holden book. This is a very crumbly handmade, hand-dyed paper. I just added all of these washi here because it is falling apart. So very crumbly. Vintage lace. This is a vintage letter with a letter inside. This is a double belly band. This is a vintage, authentic vintage tag. A tuck spot with a recipe, index card. Love the blue here in that label, that's authentic. And then a tag from Floral Affairs. This is a music note from a music book. It's blue, so I thought it went well in there. This is another one of those projects that I didn't finish last December. It has a little bit of a Christmas feel to it, but I thought the color still went with the whole journal. A little dangly here. This is that other side of the wallpaper. It's embossed. I'll show you closer, but yeah, really love that. Some more vintage bits here in this tuck spot. This also is a vintage tag, goes in there. This is from the Something Blue kit. I love this, the bluebird. More ephemera there. This is a piece of vintage lace. Speeding this up because I hear my husband calling me. Vintage lace. This is a tag with, this one comes off, but you can put this here so it just dangles like that. More pockets, some embellishments, another one of those molds. This is a removable bit, opens up. Yeah, you can see here some more bits, embellished tag, then the last part, more of that mold. This is just embellished with that little butterfly, and then some tickets. That's it. That's the back of the journal. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and if you're interested in purchasing just this journal, just message me over at Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.